Leo, this is your weekly. So, Ace of Wands. And I'm sorry, I'm probably going to end up uploading this in 3 or 4 different sections. So, this is going to be the weekly for 12 through the 18th of January 2025. So, Leo, you have the Ace of Wands in reverse, along with the King of Wands in reverse and the Hierophant. I wanted to start off by saying that some delays may have actually been in your favor, but I also want to say that some of these delays just could have been holding back the inevitable and the necessity for you to conform to a rule of law, not necessarily of the court, but somebody else's traditions and rules. It's almost as though it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. You may have had expectations that whenever the time came that your beliefs and your desires were going to be given into or favored whenever the time was right. Like whenever certain responsibilities were dealt with, well, then you can focus on you. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, Leo, and this could end up resulting in a separation. Because there was initially a separation of beliefs, but somebody else was utilizing you to their benefit with false promises, and it could lead to you suddenly removing yourself from a relationship or a physical location because of this. That doesn't mean, however, just because you make a good show of getting up and leaving or separating yourself from something, that somebody else is going to come chasing after you. I don't see that being the case. It really does feel like it's okay, that's fine, and they will hold the door for you on your way out. So hopefully you don't lead yourself to any kind of disappointment this week, Leo. There is the bright side of this where you will be standing up for your beliefs and holding to your own tradition, but if you were expecting to get anything out of this other relationship, it doesn't look like you will, because they want you to conform to their expectations and beliefs. But we are moving on to Virgo. With the Three of Wands in reverse, you're not willing to let something go. There's a burden or responsibility that you have picked up, and you did it so that you could find some kind of stability, and you were fine with making some of these sacrifices, but there could be some kind of influences that you weren't counting on coming into play. And if there are obstacles in your way for you obtaining a goal or getting something specific, you put those obstacles there yourself. And it may be because you're focusing on a scarcity mindset, but you may find that next week, not this week, but next week, you're going to change how it is that you're doing things, because how you've been doing things, what you've been doing, hasn't been getting you anywhere. And you're realizing that. And burnout is not benefiting you in any way. It's not making you fitter or healthier or richer, so you're starting to see that there's no point in all this. And you need to change something, so well, the change isn't coming this week. There is something that you have been feeding into in order to save money or to ensure your security. But if this control that you feel like you have is an illusion, because in reality the stress is controlling you. But next week I think you will turn it around a little bit and start doing things. You're not going to change everything all at once, but you will start making changes next week. Drink water and sleep, because you are going to need it. We are going to move on to Scorpio. So an idea that you had thought was going to, that you thought was going to get you something that you wanted, is not going to work out the way that you wanted it to. And it could be from somebody else on the outside that you don't normally have conversation with, is going to let you know why. Even though you do obtain success somehow, you're not going to be able to utilize that to get what you want. Or if you do, you've been lied to about what that is, and it's like working for the grand prize of something and then finding out that it's just a 25-cent gumball out of a gumball machine. This is going to cause you to reevaluate exactly where it is that you are and what it is that you want and why you want it. Because this could be somebody else manipulating you into thinking something was what it wasn't, yeah. And that's what has caused you to waste some time, but it's going to cause you to disconnect from somebody or something that you may have needed to for quite a while. It doesn't look like you're going to be blaming anyone or anything for this, but you're just going to have no problem turning your back on them. And now for Scorpio, or Sagittarius. Focusing on your inner strength could have let you cause something to rot. It's like you're putting all the work in, but you're putting the work in on yourself because you needed to create a boundary between yourself and what it is that you need to work on. However, whenever you put that boundary up, it distances you from what you need to focus on and allowed certain things to go unnoticed. This could end up in you admitting that you, or realizing that you may need to apologize for something, but just waiting for it to go away, or waiting for it to someone else to put all the work in order to get to you, whenever you're constantly putting up blocks and putting up more walls and more boundaries, is not going to get anything worked out. It does look like you're going to be making small steps this week, Sagittarius, but it's because of your own insecurity. It's almost as though instead of not feeding the trolls anymore, you're feeding them better food, hoping that it'll improve their mood. If that makes any sense to anybody, but it feels as though this is going to be an emotionally tiring week for you, so that may be why you're looking for distractions. Moving on to Capricorn. And now we have the Hermit. Refusing to admit that you're wrong, or that you did something and you didn't get the result that you wanted. And there could have been some kind of okay, this could be a situation where you are distanced from somebody else and you attempt to get back in touch with them, or open up communication again and release yourself from this isolation that you're positioned in right now, but you're still a distance away. It's almost like flying a paper airplane in someone's general direction, expecting them to get the message. They may, but most likely they're not going to. And expecting them to put in 90% of the work in order to communicate is not going to result in something that you wanted. Keeping your distance is not protection, it's isolation, and what it seems as though you need to do is turn the Hermit in the upright and start actually looking at what your own actions have brought you, and how they could have affected somebody else. And this is going to end up resulting in even your own unbiased judgment, because Capricorn is an earth sign and they can't help but look at the practical aspect of things. So utilize that part of your personality, your inherent, Capricornness, and understand why those clear boundaries exist and why communication could be difficult, and understand why something is difficult and not working could actually help you find out new ways on how to communicate. And now moving on to Aquarius. And we have someone younger than you trying to move forward far too quickly, far too recklessly, and putting themselves in a no movement kind of a position. They could be trying to develop skills, so this could be a position where, Aquarius, you would be best as a mentor, because this Page of Cups does not feel like this is you, but somebody else that is connected to you somehow, may even be using you as a role model, even if they're not intentionally doing it. They could look up to you in some way, and they think that they're doing the right thing because they've taken some of your actions out of context. This could be where you actually take on the mentorship position and you utilize this to help them develop skills, and you show them how to do things, and you lead them on how to do things correctly without necessarily expecting them to know inherently how to do things. So patience and understanding will be a focus for you this week, Aquarius, and you could actually end up helping somebody build a skill or a life for themselves with little effort, because without knowing it, you've already done some of the groundwork by this person being able to watch you, but now you need to help fill in some of the holes. And now we are on Pisces. And somehow you still got an extra card. But we have Temperance in the reverse, so patience is not something that you need to focus on right now, because something is imbalanced because of your focus or because of your patience. It may be fine to overindulge right now, but it needs to be a temporary focus, because you do need to consciously realign yourself and not allow some outside element to do that for you, because that is only temporary. You may be having something to do with a Libra this week, but good luck and karma is on your side. Something is going to end up going in your favor, even though there is a Three of Swords right here, because that's the extra card that came out. And with this mix, it seems as though somebody else is going to there's some kind of opinion or something that's going to end up coming out, and it doesn't really feel like this is a loss of a relationship or a person, but a loss of respect for somebody, because they've been putting up a front of being judicious and fair. In reality, they were just giving to get. So it's going to be in your best interest, Pisces, this week to be honest with all the relationships that you're involved in right now, familial or romantic. So, and the Three of Swords actually feels like something that somebody else is going through that you may have to talk to them about. But that is going to be it for this week, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Timestamps are below, and I hope to see you back next week. Keep an eye out for the dailies, and like and subscribe, please.